Hey YouTube users, it's Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a CANES mukbang. Today I actually got a 21 ounces of cane sauce. That's what we're gonna do. And I have a certain way of eating my food. I get the bread, I get a piece of the bread, right? And then I get some fries and line it up like this. Like a piece of chicken. And make it as a little sandwich like this. See that? I'm gonna dip it in the sauce. Yum. And you take a bite. So good. Probably just gonna eat for a little bit because I'm really hungry. The next time I make a mukbang, I'm probably going to use my mic. I just forgot about it today. So, that's why there's no mic. I'll talk about how this whole COVID thing has been, whatever, affecting my life, I guess, which it has because school and all this stuff. But let me make this sandwich. Here, dip. Basically, yum. Basically, the whole corona shutdown or whatever happened around March. And I was going to school, whatever, finished my chemistry class that semester. And then it's been summer, and they didn't have my bio classes in the summer, so I had to wait for fall. And so around June, I enrolled to one of my classes, my bio class. And a week before school started, which just started a few days ago, it said that I was dropped from the class. And I was like, okay, like, hold on. Because before I found out about that, I would check, and then I paid for all the classes. I paid for my classes already, like way earlier than the deadline for payments or whatever. And when I checked back 2 weeks before, it said I had a $12 amount due, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I made sure that I paid everything, and I would check, and it said no balance due, whatever. And then I checked 2 weeks before school starts, and they're like, oh, you have a $12 balance. And I was like, what the heck? So I just paid it, like, without thinking. And then I checked a week before school started, and it said I didn't have any classes. But a week before that, it said I was already enrolled and whatever. It had my schedule. And then I checked, and it said I didn't have any classes. Like, I was dropped. I was like, what the heck? So I was, like, freaking out because, like, I'm just trying to get done with school, okay? I'm trying to finish. And if you don't know what I'm in nursing. Well, I'm going into nursing. I'm just trying to be done. And so being dropped out of this class was so frustrating because it's like now I have nothing to do. I don't work. My parents don't want me to work, basically. I was just trying to go to school, and, like, basically they think that I was just bullshitting. They thought I was bullshitting and purposely dropped the class, when really I'm trying to finish. Like, I'm over all this stuff. Like, I'm trying to work already and, like, make good money and, like, start my life. And yeah, they dropped me from my class. I emailed the cashier because they thought it was, like, a late fee or whatever. And hold on. I thought it was due to that $12 fee that they charged me, like, 2 weeks before. But then I got another email that said, oh, like, due to COVID, there were too many students in the class, so the last few people that enrolled were dropped from the class, this and this and that. I was like, okay, so it wasn't me not paying, because I know I paid for everything. It was due to COVID. And I was like, COVID really got me messed up, like, just messing everything up. And it sucks because it's like, wow, like, I was so ready to start school, and I was so, like, motivated to whatever. And so it's like, if you're in school right now, please don't take it for granted, because sitting at home, like, I know everybody hates school, but when you can't go to school, it's like, wow, like, I want to go to school. Like, I want to be done. And, like, it's just so frustrating. So I have to wait. I have a meeting with an advisor on the 24th of September. So I'm gonna get all my information there, take a TEAS test that I need to study for a TEAS test, waiting for the book from my friend. And I have everything, like, you know, planned out, and I hope it works out by next year, and hopefully this whole COVID thing just fucking disappears. But I know it won't, because the world is just going to be so different after this year. I just hope everything works out by January and I can get into classes. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all the classes I need to get into the program, take my TEAS test soon, because I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to live my life. But besides that, my boyfriend and I were supposed to make, like, a story time or, like, a video about how we met and, like, have more information about us. But he's been really busy trying to prepare for the biggest fight of his life. And if you watch UFC, he's going to be in the Contender Series on September 8th. And yeah, like, it's a very big opportunity for him, and I'm so excited for him, and I'm so proud, and he's just so motivated, and I just love my life. And I'm so excited to be by his side to support him and stuff. And he's been busy, so I'm not going to bother him about making a video, because this is the last thing that he needs to worry about. He needs to worry about his career, like I don't know. Advice. If you're gonna get into a relationship with an athlete, realize that you're not their top priority. And you kind of just have to be like, it comes with it. Like, don't expect him to be fucking It's not always gonna be happy or whatever, but it's not gonna be perfect. But you have to like realize that their priorities on their career. You're either gonna support them or add on to their stress that they're already like stressing about so much, like trying to stay healthy, trying to stay like trying to make sure that he doesn't get injured, like all this stuff. Like if you're getting in a relationship with an athlete, just be prepared for that. And I still have my days where I'm needy and I'm not perfect, but like he's really good at communicating. And he still shows me attention and gives me the time of day when he finds the chance to. So it's really helpful to have a partner that's like that, and that doesn't just leave you like hanging and like thinking to yourself. Because I'm a big overthinker, and he's really good at like talking to me and stuff. So baby, if you're watching this, which I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but just know I know I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, but just know I love you. And I appreciate you. I don't know why when I make these mukbangs, I get full so fast, but like when I'm eating by myself and I'm watching other mukbangers, I can eat this whole thing. So basically, if you've been curious about how my boyfriend and I met, if you're curious about how we met, and I shot my shot. I shot my shot because in Bumble the girl has to message the guy, and his bio or whatever was very captivating. Like I felt very intrigued by his bio because he said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something about like, oh, if I heard that people look more catfish when they have high quality photos, so if you want some low quality pics, just ask me or something. And then I said something about like, oh, like you pay attention to details, I see. And he's like, oh, I'm intrigued. Like I messaged him like a few days before we actually like hung out, and I messaged him a few days before we hung out, and we sucked at replying to each other, because like honestly I was at the point where I was like, I'm over this, like, let me just not. And I was so close to deleting the app. In the day, it was, like, very early in the morning. It was, like, I don't know, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. It was very early in the morning, and, like, my sleep schedule was still, like, messed up. It was, like, very messed up back then. And, like, it was, like, 2 days since we, like, first communicated on there. And we were just like, hey, like, what's up? Like, we should hang out sometime, whatever. But it, like, never followed through, like, the first few days. Because we would, like, reply hours later. And I would forget about the app. And I'd check. And then I was, like, so close to already deleting it. Because I was like, okay, like, I feel like I don't want to give out my energy to anybody no more. Like, I was, like, at that point where I was like, you know what? This is so boring. This is stupid. Like, whatever. And then that morning he was like, hey, like, you want to go like grab lunch or something? I was like, yeah, I'm down, but like there's like not a lot of places with like dine-in. And he was like, oh, like maybe we can, and then he gave me his number. He was like, hey, like just text me, like I really suck at replying on this app. So I texted him, I was like, hey, it's Mary. It's like, hey. And then he was like, good morning. I was like, good morning. He was like, so like where do you want to eat, or like where do you want to go? And every time I think about our first date, I get so like giddy. Like I get like, I don't know, like it was like a super casual like meeting, but like I don't know. But he was like, oh, do you want to get sushi? I was like, yeah, I'm down. Because I was just like, okay, like there's nowhere else. Like if he knows where to go, then I'm like down to hang out. Like I'm a very like friendly person. Like I'm down to meet people, because I wasn't expecting us to like be anything. Like I was kind of just going into it like, oh, he seems like super goofy. Like I saw his like Instagram, and he was like super like outgoing and fun, and like I saw that, I was like, oh, like it's fun, like he looks fun, or he looks like he has a good vibe to him, like he has good energy. And so I was like kind of just going into it, it's like, oh, like maybe him and I can turn out to be friends. And then he was like, oh, like you want to get sushi, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, I'm down or whatever. And so like we planned to go that day around like 4 or 3:30, around that. So I like went that day, I went to the gym. I was like, okay, like, I remember texting him on my way from the gym to there. And I purposely looked cute, but like, I texted him. I was like, hey, like, don't expect a lot because I'm not really dressed up. And like, I don't normally dress up. I was wearing like some shorts and like a off-shoulder shirt, which is like my typical style. And so, that's what I wore. And then I was like, hey, like, don't expect anything, like, I'm not dressing up or anything. He's like, oh, like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, yeah, like, I was just giving you a heads up just in case, like, you know, like, I don't want him to show up dressed up and I'm over here, like, just like a bum, you know. So I told him, like, we met, and he was like, I was like, okay, like, I'm on my way. And he's like, oh, me too. I was like, drive safe. He's like, oh, I'm here. I was like, damn, look, you were zooming. And I was like, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. He's like, take your time, whatever. And then he was like, okay, just text me when you're here. So I texted him. I remember I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm here. I just need to fix my shoe. I don't know why I felt like I needed to tell him that. But yeah, I was like, I'm here. Fix my shoe. And so I get like so nervous when I meet people. Not because I'm like super like, oh, I like them, you know? A complete stranger, of course, you're gonna get nervous. I get nervous meeting new people. Like, I just get anxious. Like, I just generally get anxious. And I like walked out the car, and like he was standing outside of the sushi place, and he was already there inside, like waiting for me. And like when I said like, oh, I'm here, like he came out. And so like my mind walking towards him was like, oh my gosh, like what if I trip? Like I always think about like, what if I like walked up to him and I just like busted my ass? Of course, like I didn't bust my ass. Like I was sweating. Like I was very anxious, and I gave him like a side hug. I remember this. I gave him like a side hug. Like, hi, how are you? And then yeah, we got seated at our table, or he showed us our table because he was already there. Hold on. And we ordered a bunch of stuff. Like I haven't, mind you, I haven't gotten sushi. I haven't eaten at a sushi place in like 4 to 5 years. And so I wasn't really familiar with what it was, but he loves sushi. So he was in charge of like ordering. I was like, oh, I love shrimp. And so like we ordered a bunch of shrimp stuff, and like, yeah, we were just talking. I really don't know how like our conversation started to like just flow. Like it's one of those where it's just like you didn't really have to think about it. We kind of just like clicked, you know? Like I felt so like comfortable, like I knew him already. Like it was one of those, like the energy just matched basically. Ugh. Yeah, our energy just matched, and like my mindset going into it, I was like, I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna do me. If he doesn't like me, then it's okay, because I wasn't even like looking for like a relationship, or I wasn't looking to be like, oh yeah, like he's the one. Like, is he gonna be the one? Like that wasn't my mindset. I went in with no expectations, nothing, and we just clicked. And I remember like thinking to myself, because he went to the bathroom in the middle of it, and I was like, what the heck? Like, what is this? Like, I wasn't even looking at my phone. Like, it was more of like I was so captivated in our like conversation, I didn't feel the need to look at my phone. Even when he left, I didn't want to look at my phone because I was kind of just sitting there. I was like, what the heck? Like, there's something about him that I really like. But obviously in my mind I was like, okay, like hold your horses, you just met him, like don't get ahead of yourself, you know? And so he came back, whatever, like we kept talking. We basically just like, I basically laid everything out on the table. We talked about a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't talk about to just anybody, you know? But I felt so like comfortable with him. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna tell him whatever, like it was my past, whatever. And like it was that, like I just wanted to be like honest, even though I didn't owe him any like explanation or anything. I was just like, this is who I am, this is who I was, like this is my situation, whatever. We just clicked, like we like vibed, and it was just really good. And then we ended up getting kicked out of the sushi place because we stayed there for too long, and we were kind of loud, and we were like laughing and like just enjoying our time, and the sushi place did not fuck with our happiness. So we had to leave because they were like, okay, like there's people waiting, like you guys gotta go. I was like, okay, like whatever. I had to go home to like take care of our dog anyways. So we left, and I just had like, it was just like one of those like, wow, like what the heck. Like, wow, what the heck? Like, that's how I can describe it. And we had to leave, whatever. And we walked out. He walked me to my, I think we walked out. I was like, oh, are you gonna walk me to my car? Because I'm not the type to expect something, but like I just asked because I was like, oh, you're not gonna, I wasn't like, oh, you're not gonna walk me to my car. I was just like, hey, like, are you gonna walk me to my car? And so I guess it was just like to spend like more time with him, like I don't know. Basically, he walked me to my car. Like it was it was like really nice, like meeting you, whatever. And he hugged me, and it just felt like such a genuine hug. Like I can't even explain it, but like that's one of like also another like reason why I liked him so much. It was because of that hug, and it wasn't like a, oh, like yeah, I'm gonna get you type of hug. It was more like, oh, like it was really nice, like getting to know you type of hug. Cause like, you know how you hug and like it's like, oh, whatever, hug, but his hands like went to the back of my head, and like he like held me, and I felt so like protected. I don't know if that's the word, but like that's how I can describe it. And like he just held me and like hugged me, and I was like I'm very blunt, like I don't hold back on like if I feel some type of way, but like he hugged me and I was like, oh, nobody's ever hugged me like that before. And like we let go, and I was like smiling. I was like, can I get another one? I was like, can I get another one? And then he hugged me again. I was like, oh, he was like, oh, you're so cute. And I was just like super smiley, super happy. And then I remember getting to my car, and like the light was shining in my eyes. I remember that, but like I could still see him clearly. It was like you know how somebody says it was a pleasure meeting you socially, like you're supposed to say, oh, the pleasure is mine, but I didn't know how to say it. Like I couldn't at that point like pinpoint like what I should say. It's like, oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, and like I couldn't, I was like, I knew I had a reply that I was supposed to reply, but I couldn't say it. And so like he closed the door, I was like, yeah, and then I gotta just stop. He closed the door, I was like, mine. Like the pleasure is mine, but I didn't know the first few words of that sentence, so I was just like, mine. But luckily he didn't hear me. And then I drove away, and he texted me like 20 minutes later, and he went to a store and he bought something. And I just remember driving home, and I was like, what the heck, like what? And the first person I talked to was my cousin Bettina, because like she knows about like everything, basically. I tell her everything. I was like, whoa, like that was so crazy. It was just like really good. But I always said like, oh, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. And so yeah, he texted me that day. I think he asked me if I wanted to go to the lake or like a sunset picnic or whatever the next day. And I was like, I told him, because like the schedule that I was on with my dog was like super like kind of restricting kind of ish. And so I was like, oh, like I'll let you know, and da-da-da-da. He's like, oh, there's no rush, like take your time, like whatever. And so yeah, after that okay, so after that, like I thought everything went well, whatever. And I like woke up the next morning, because I think I fell asleep on him. I don't know. I woke up the next morning like super early and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym because I have nothing else to do. So I went to the gym and then he texted me like good morning or whatever. He's like, oh, you're up early, but we were up the same time. So I don't know why he was saying I was up early when he was up early too, but we were up. I was at the gym. He was like texting me or whatever. And I was being so corny, like so cheesy. I was already like, here's my heart. I like you. Like I was being kind of like very blunt about me liking him or like me being interested. And I said something. He was like, I don't know why I've been waking up so early. And my corny ass said, it's because your body was preparing for me to come into your life and it doesn't know how to act, or something like that. And he replied with, ha. After he replied that, I was like, okay, let me drop my feelings because I'm not trying to get hurt. So I was like, oh gosh, like, yikes, I totally blew that. Like in my mind, I was like, I blew that. And then after that conversation, like he didn't reply to me for like hours. Because it was like early in the morning, like 6 a.m. He didn't reply to me for hours. And I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I just met him. There's no strings attached. Like, whatever. Like, he was cool. It was nice meeting him. But, like, I guess he's not interested. And then he texted me at like 3 p.m. I was like, oh, I just finished lunch. And then we talked some more. He asked me to go hang out with his friends to watch the fights or whatever. So I went with him. And after that, the rest was history. And next Tuesday will be our 2 months. After we met, we haven't stopped talking since. Yeah, we haven't stopped talking since. We talk every day. He's the love of my life. He's met my parents. I've met his family. We're just taking it one day at a time. So, with that being said, kind of full. And follow me on Instagram to find out more info about his fights, because it's coming up in 2 weeks. I'm so freaking excited to see him kill somebody. Well, not kill, but you know, that's the mentality that you gotta go into. Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Mine is Heymaryp and his is Sherrard_MMA. Yeah, show us some love. I'm probably gonna do mukbangs. Every week. Probably every Wednesday, since I'm already starting it this day. Like, I want to be consistent with it. So let me know what I should eat next week. And yeah. I hope to see you guys in my next video. I don't know. We'll see what I come up with. Comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn your post notifications on. Bye!